welcome to another week of State of Mind. We've got Sam Joel. He's there with us somewhere. There he is coming on the camera. But checking out the view, pretty good location there.
Yes,
soaking up some sun.
Hang on, wait. Come to you.
We should have. But so Sam, thanks for joining us today. GiveTree, and I just want to let's just step back into. Can you share your how did you come across GiveTree? What's the Can you give us a bit of a backstory there?
I started GiveTree 4 years ago when I was homeless. I was living in an internet cafe, so I started it as a simple sort of charity directory, which is a relatively easy web product to build. Not very difficult. There's no functionality there. And so basically we launched the initial directory while I was homeless.
Wow.
Then we progressed that to what would happen if you could donate money through the platform to the charities. Then we progressed that to what would happen if this became like a centralized charitable donation hub. Like you could manage all of your different types of donations and volunteering and fundraising from one centralized hub. So we launched the second product, which was just donating money to the charities through the platform, and we tested that, and that was easy. All you had to do was get the charity to connect their Stripe account, and then all of a sudden you could donate money to them. Like a website with a login and a basic donate features. It's very easy, not hard. Anyone can do that. And then the next one is much more difficult, because the next one is if you're going to help people to manage all of their different donation types from one centralized hub, you're going to need a whole bunch of tech, because donating money, fiat currency, versus volunteering, versus fundraising, versus donating stock, versus workplace giving, versus donating blood, blah, 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 all that stuff. It's very different. It's very different. They're very different categories. They're basically their own markets. And every single market is having its own established products and services. So if you want to volunteer for a charity, there's an established set of products and services that will help you to do that in the market. So if you were to attempt to build a platform that would sort of centralize all of that, that's a very difficult undertaking, which I was kind of naive to at that point, and I just went for it. Didn't work. So basically, people told me that I should focus on one type of donation. So in October last year, so October 2021, I looked at the category of donating cryptocurrency and NFTs as a fundraising mechanism. So technically 2 categories. And I looked at those 2 categories and I thought, these 2 categories are really good, because these 2 categories, they have no products, they have no suppliers. Honestly, that's not true. They have a few. So the global leader in direct donations to charity is the Giving Block. And currently there is no NFT fundraising platform. There's none. So basically it was you've got the direct donations of cryptocurrency via the Giving Block, which would enable the charity to set up a cryptocurrency wallet and accept the donations directly into their wallet. And then I suppose you should sort of separate those 2, because you've sort of got a platform there, and then a sort of a wallet service, a managed wallet service. But yeah, basically, when I looked at NFTs as a fundraising mechanism and cryptocurrency as a direct donations, I noticed that nobody is basically doing this. Nobody's doing it. No one's doing it. No one's helping charities. Nobody is helping charities if this charity wants to receive a direct donation of cryptocurrency, who is helping them to do that? Nobody. If this charity wants to receive a donation via an NFT fundraiser from a creator, like a world famous creator, a world famous artist wants to create an NFT for your charity, sell it as a fundraiser and raise money for you, can your charity accept a cryptocurrency donation from that fundraiser? The answer is no. In most cases, the answer is no. So when I look at these two categories, direct donations of cryptocurrency and NFTs as fundraisers, I was like, holy shit, there's no one. There's no one. There is literally nobody. And so I called all of our charities. I called them all. And I asked them, do you have anyone? And they were like, nope. So they confirmed exactly what I thought, which was that they have no one. It's so new that basically they don't know what to do. And like they want to. So let me clarify this. The charities are, in most cases, the charities are keen to explore what to do. They want to explore what to do. But there is a limited amount of people who and information that can sort of help to support that ambition. Like they don't want to make a mistake, which is completely understandable. There's so much risk in the Web3 market. Oh my God, look at what happened with FTX this week. Yeah, anyway, I'll let you guys ask more questions. Sorry.
No, it's like it's great to hear that you're doing something really good to bridge the market. Like you're bridging something that's really well needed from what it looks like. You've got. Is it just based on NFTs? Could anyone just even use the platform to donate crypto? Is that something else that you're looking at, or is it just based on NFTs and then matching specific artists or having some sort of a fundraiser around, connecting the artist to fundraising to the specific organizations in the area? Is it how many organizations are you currently working with at the same time? So yeah,
I think
there's many questions there.
No, honestly, like there's a few really good questions in there. So like the first thing is like creating an NFT. So creating an NFT is like, it's not so easy. Like you need an NFT can either be like an image, a sound, or a video. And you've got to have the smart contracts and the platform in place to be able to save that data of that file. When you upload that file of that image or that sound or that video, you've got to be able to save that to a blockchain and create an NFT if you want to mint an NFT. So if you want to mint a single NFT or a collection of NFTs, you got to be able to do that. So you need a platform to be able to do that. So OpenSea is really valuable in that, but OpenSea is not a platform that is built around like donating to charity. Like I think we've seen in the last 2 weeks, we've seen from OpenSea their position on their customers. Like if you were to apply a jobs to be done theory to the OpenSea customer persona, you would quickly identify that you have a number of customer personas that are financial speculators. They are buying NFTs. And you would identify that you have a number of NFT creators, like people who are creating NFTs, and a whole bunch of others. I think for us, we identified like 24. So I think, yeah. Anyway, the point is, OpenSea and Magic Eden in the last 2 weeks have introduced this new clause of like, creator royalties are optional, which is fundamentally against the entire point of Web3 and the entire reason it was succeeding. So I suppose they should look forward to a future of Blockbuster. But in any case, basically, if a creator can't mint a single NFT or a collection of NFTs and earn money, if that money that they're going to earn from that NFT is optional, then yeah, Why would they use your platform, bro? Think about it. Sorry, I lost the original question.
No, you can hear there's some there's passion, there's real passion behind this. And I mean, I've seen cryptocurrency as blockchain, the blockchain technology for fundraising and knowing when donations go to. Because there's a lot of charitable donations out there where the money's raised and then we have no way of, has it actually got out to the people that it was meant for? Has it got out to the projects it was meant for? Being able to track it right through and see that those donations are actually getting to what they were intended for. And I can see blockchain can really change that game. Do you have some thoughts around that?
Yeah, so I suppose like the really exciting thing about Web3 for charitable donations is this. One of the biggest problems that people have with charitable donations is the transparency around the donations. So people always like, oh, where are the donations going? Where are the donations going? Okay, well, with Web3, it means like if you make the donation like with crypto, you can look it up on Etherscan. You can see exactly where it went. Now, that's the first half of the problem, because what comes up is the second half of the problem is that people get frustrated with like what charities do with the money. Now, that's a completely different problem, and Web3 can't solve that problem. The first half of the problem, like I want to see where this money is going, Web3 can solve that problem. No worries. Yeah, you want to see where that money is going? No worries. You make this donation in crypto, you look it up, you can see it went to their wallet address, you see where it's gone. Yeah, that's transparency. But if you want to like literally affect what the charity does with that money, you probably won't. Because in most cases, charities don't want to spend your donation like how you want. So in most cases, people want to donate directly to a project. They want a direct project donation. They want a time frame. They want an outcome. That's not how most charities work. So most charities work, you donate to the charity decides what to do with the funds, you get a tax receipt if they have DGR status in Australia. That's how it works. So Web3 can't solve that second problem. That's not a Web3 problem. That's a job role design problem, which is exactly what I spoke about at Nexus Australia last week.
You all right? Still with us?
Yeah.
All right. So if we take it back to,
I think we need to roll back, and because some of the viewers are just going to be looking at us and thinking, what's NFT? Let's roll back and track back and just give us an explanation in your own words what NFTs are.
An NFT is basically what's called like a non-fungible token. And there's a few different versions of a non-fungible token, but in a nutshell, you take an image, you take a video, you take a sound, and you take the file's data, and you save that to a blockchain. And there's lots of different blockchains to choose from. There's not just one, there's lots. And that process of saving that file's data to a blockchain is called minting, which is an engineering term, which is completely irrelevant to us real people who are not engineers. It's a pointless term. So it's basically you are creating an NFT. Creating is a better terminology. So you're creating an NFT. How are you doing that? You're taking an image, a video, or a sound file, and you're saving it to a blockchain. That's how you are creating an NFT. Now, once you've created that NFT, that file that's been saved to that blockchain, and there's lots of blockchains to choose from, lots of them. Once you've saved that data to that blockchain, it can't be changed. That's it. It's safe. It's locked in.
Yeah.
It's locked.
It's locked. It becomes a token. It's something that can be exchanged or or moved. Is that right? It's just something
Yeah.
that
It's digital property, and in the future, all the houses, all the cars, all the everything will be on the blockchain. Everything will be an NFT. That's what people need to understand. It's not just pictures. It's like you need to understand, like, this technology, like everything is going to be on that. Like houses are going to be on the blockchain.
Yeah, the fundamentals are there.
Yeah.
Focusing on the fundamentals and continue to build. We're seeing a lot of, I guess, media coverage at the moment, which is it's all focused around money. But when you get to the underlying technology and the I'm in it for the tech, bringing that back. The fundamentals are there.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, awesome. Well, I guess Sandra, have you got any other questions? I guess for Sam.
No, I think more like give us an example of why we should use GiveTree.
So GiveTree, let's say you go to OpenSea right now, which is the world's largest NFT marketplace, most trusted, really good platform. I've got nothing against OpenSea. Let's say you want to do a fundraiser for a charity. Basically, they don't have this. So fundraiser is basically just go to the when you're.
Sorry, I think your hand's over the microphone a bit.
When you're setting up the NFT item or the NFT collection for sale,
Yes.
you're having to input the cryptocurrency wallet addresses of the people who will receive the funds. And once you've set it up for sale or auction or whatever it is you've set it up for, you put it publicly. There's no way for the buyer to know that those funds are actually going to go to that charity. There's no way. They have no idea. So it's a trust issue. It comes back to the transparency issue. So Web3 is trying to solve the transparency issue of Web3, traditional Web2 donations. So if you are creating a trust issue, that's a big problem.
And that you're resolving and bridging the gaps to allow the transparency between the donation and just ensuring that it's actually given to the right people, right?
Yeah, and the other problem is, like, think about this. There have been, let's take the largest ever actual example of an NFT donation to a charity in Australia. So that was $4.1 million to Doctors Without Borders Australia. Now, the person who did that, they wanted to stay anonymous. They used OpenSea, okay? Now, they did not have permission from Doctors Without Borders when they did that. Okay, so what happened is they sold it, and then they had to contact Doctors Without Borders, and they had to fix that issue. Now, Doctors Without Borders, they didn't have a wallet. They didn't have one. They couldn't receive that donation, like that crypto. They couldn't receive it. So the person who raised that money, because we are talking about money here. It doesn't matter if we're talking about fiat currency or crypto. We're talking about money technology is what we're talking about. Okay, so they had to figure out, like, how do we get this money to this charity? It took weeks of time after their NFT fundraiser had already finished. Weeks of time. Weeks of their time later, they figured out that they had to approach a third-party company called The Giving Block. The Giving Block then helped Doctors Without Borders after more weeks of time. So many more weeks passed by. And then they were able to set up a wallet with the Giving Block. Now, once they had a wallet with the Giving Block, that meant they were able to receive the cryptocurrency. Now, the Giving Block, the way the Giving Block works is they have an exchange with Gemini Exchange, which is an American exchange. It's an American NFT exchange. Okay, so They charge a license fee, quote unquote, software as a service subscription fee, basically. It's about $3,600 a year for the charity, and it's about 6% per transaction. That's what they do. So basically that $4.1 million was minus those costs. And that like multiple weeks of time. Yeah.
Oh, you're working that out? Sandra's just working it out.
So they lose out $246,000. So
Yeah.
really, $250,000 is lost in fees
To an American company, and that exchange just got flagged. Gemini Exchange got flagged this morning for at risk of disaster after the FTX collapse. So it means a lot of things. I'm not going to say, but
Yeah, there's a lot. Yeah, there's a lot going on. There's a lot going on at the moment, and there's a lot of work to be done. There's a lot of education to be done as well, and that's why we have these conversations. Because, like I said, we have to.
There is no purpose-built cryptocurrency wallet for charity in Australia right now. None. Not a single one. The organization that we refer charities to is Independent Reserve, because that's the best option right now. It's literally, it's like the best option right now. It's free to set up for the charity. The board of directors or the directors of the charity have to supply their IDs to set up the cryptocurrency wallet. But once they do, they gain access to a lot, like basically their Independent Reserve gives them like, sets them up a whole bunch of cryptocurrency wallets across a different range of different tokens, and now they've got all these different cryptocurrency wallets, and that costs them nothing. There's no license fee, there's no subscription fee, there's no like, it's good, but it's not purpose built. So what that means is there's a big problem. Is like, if it's not purpose built, it means it doesn't do the things they need it to do. So an example of like what they need it to do, I receive a cryptocurrency donation into my cryptocurrency wallet. Do I get notified by email that I have just received a cryptocurrency donation as the person in charge, internally employed at the charity? No, I don't. And it doesn't exist. Okay, so there's work to be done because literally that feature does not exist. So I told Fred at Finder, and his team is looking into it right now because they're building an exchange and they already have the directory of information and they're looking into it. And they might be the first ones to do it. They might not. Because what I've found with Sydney VCs, whole different conversation. But what I found with like Sydney VCs is like, bro, no, they're not interested. They don't like impact. They're not big fans of impact. they love impact like when it's in the AFR or like when it's like a journal story, like, bro, I'm doing this. But they don't like impact like in practice. Like they don't like that. So yeah, I mean, there's an opportunity there. It's really interesting. I actually posted about this on LinkedIn today. We got rejected from the Immutable X grant program. We got rejected from the Airtree fundraising program, which is their like fucking main program, right? Like we got their analyst recommended to their board of directors to approve us for a grant, and they said no. And the reason they said no is because they had an existing investment that they felt was a conflict of interest. So it turns out, I found out today, that existing investment was Immutable X. And Immutable X is working on a feature which will help to raise money for charities. And the way I found out is through our charities. Think about that. So you've got VCs in Sydney that are like so like egotistical that they can't invest in multiple multiple companies within the same market or space that are helping to solve the exact same problem. Think about that. That's terrifying, because that's like, well, you're just not following your own advice, are you? If you were following your own advice, you would be identically copying Sequoia. But I suppose that would land you in FTX.
And this is where, coming back to the purpose, like, what is the actual purpose of this, and the collaboration piece? But there's still a lot of competition out there.
The purpose of GiveTree is like two things we're trying to do really, really well. This is the two things we're trying to do well: NFT fundraisers for charity and direct donations of crypto. Those are the two things. So what a dude. So for the upcoming launch, we have basically like a whole bunch of really cool artists that have created all of this art, all of this different art, and they want to use this art, and they want to use it to fundraise for charity. And so we've onboarded all of these charities, and we've spent months helping them set up their first ever cryptocurrency wallets. And the cryptocurrency wallet provider that we have mainly worked with is Independent Reserve, because as far as I can tell at the moment, that's the best option. We've come across other options like the Giving Block, who we are formally partnered with. We've come across other options like ZeroCat, who I have opinions on. ZeroCat. But I'll tell you, Independent Reserve are doing a great job. They're doing the best job right now for charities. And we've referred most of our charities to them because it's free to set up. Obviously, they need to go through the KYC process, the Know Your Customer process. They need, if they've got a board of directors, that board of directors needs to go through that process too.
Oh, I think we're losing you, Sam.
Losing your signal.
Sorry, phone.
Nope, no, you're back. You're back.
You're back.
We'll finish up in a moment.
Anyway, the point is, we refer the customers to, we're working with the Sandbox game to build out a game in the Sandbox. It's a 1-of-1 block size, which means the minimum block size. And we're building a game. And what that means for charities, when we go to the charities, we go to, whichever charity it is, we go to them and we say, we're going to help you build a game. We're going to help you enter the metaverse, so to speak. Because what is a metaverse, I suppose? What is a metaverse? A metaverse is anything that is not real life. That's a metaverse. Anything that is not real life. That's what a metaverse is. So we go to a charity, I spoke with UNICEF earlier today, and we talked to them about their strategy for building a game. And I connect them with Kieran, who's the co-founder of Illuvium, one of Australia's biggest Web3 games. Okay? And we talked to them about, what is their strategy? What are they going to do? Basically, where charities are at with, metaverse and gaming is, they need to have a starting point. There needs to be an easily accessible starting point. Okay? So what we're doing is we're building a game that enables them to sell an NFT in the game. And that's it. That's all it does. The player goes into the game, they run up to the NFT installation, and they buy an NFT. And that's all it does. Because that's where the technology is at. I'll give you guys a really good example. A lot of people are very fucking confused about the metaverse. Let me give you a really good example. When the PlayStation 1 first got released, there were no game studios who could afford to build the games. Nobody could afford to build the game. So the hardware got built, and nobody could afford to build the games. Who do you think built the games? Brands built the games. Brands built the games. That's how you ended up with games like Adidas Power Soccer. Where is games right now? like you need to understand, like metaverse, people are like complaining, like, oh, what is metaverse? Oh, no, oh, bro, it's so early. Like, come on, think about it. Think about it. It's gonna take time.
It's going to explode in many different ways. Of course, it's just so that you know where metaverse really started. If you think about all the games in the past, we can even think of people being it's really immersive gaming, and where it sort of stems off as well from Life 2.0. It's like Life 2.0 now becomes a new name, and they just call it the metaverse, and everyone's creating their own virtual worlds to sort of keeping engaged. But that's one of the major issues that I have with metaverse. It's just going to be another distraction to keep your focus away from your true self. So that I have an issue with metaverse. My main issue with it is that it will take away people's attention and bring it into a new world where they could be lost and not who they truly want to be. Like, I could stay at home now and not even go out and be in the metaverse. And this is
Yeah,
there's even a movie about this, right? Remember this?
understand.
There's a movie. I can't even recall the movie, and it was destroying this metaverse in this movie, and it brought people back to connecting again. Because what we're really going to lose from metaverse is that connection to people. We won't be able to really do this because I'm not going to know who the real you is. But at the moment, I'm finding out who the true version of you by you coming into the live and saying, one, you started this by being homeless, and like wow, I remember, like, I want to go deeper into that, but we don't really have that much time. I'd like to meet up with you in person. Let's meet up in person, have a beer, and see where some things go. Because I've got a few things in my own mind in building economies and building ways to build, and not even everyone's talking about Web3, Web4. I want to go beyond that and bridge the gap between the reality and virtual, and becoming more of a Web5 where it becomes a hybrid model. Because we're going to take everything
I
away
totally
in
get it.
Web4, right?
Like, I understand your point around like when does this world start and then like
And that's what we're doing. That's what we're doing with metaverse. That's what's going to end up happening, and people are just going to be lost, immersed into something not realistic anymore. And
no,
that's what I'm afraid of.
the whole idea of like if I can put on a VR headset and literally like have you guys seen Unreal Engine 5.1? Like Unreal Engine,
Oh, I
like,
saw it released.
I can put on VR and I can look at Unreal Engine 5.1 and it's like not that different. So it becomes like a choice. Like which world should I live in? That's
And
weird.
you know what
crazy.
a majority of people would want to do? They're going to want to escape.
Of course they are. Like why would you not? Like why would you not? Why would you not? Everyone's life sucks. My life sucks. Lots of people's lives suck. Why would you not want to escape? Like I would
Because
totally
we,
do
we
that.
can change it by making people better, making people understand who they are. If we can dig deep to exactly what makes your life suck, and you know what makes it suck, right? We know, all of us know what it is. It's like all these deep rooted problems that we haven't really addressed. And if we address all these different issues and dig deep, we can be our true selves again. But we're going to have to go and play with what's currently being put out there, then go around creating another solution that makes it a hybrid model, then move it back to reality. And that's where I want to move it to. there's
We don't want to lose that.
so many discussions that we can go off like that. That's why I mean, let's meet up.
That advice
meet up in
is so
person.
good, makes me think I'm in a simulation.
We are in a simulation.
Isn't this the Truman Show? Are we in the Truman Show right now?
This is the simulation.
All right. Well, let's we'll wrap it up there, Sam. Thanks for your time today and sharing all that. But yeah,
Thanks, Sam.
let's catch up
Like,
again and
really
explore
enjoyed it. I think we can. There's so many things to tackle, and I think there's so many different conversations you and I can have because of the way your brain works. And I do understand how your brain works. It's, I bet you got these many different ideas that you've got that you'd like to put out there, but it's connecting the dots.
Yeah, and it's connecting the dots like on a personal level, and then also connecting the dots on a like network level, like on a like people to help me level. And I suppose that's what startups are all about in a way. But I think that it's a difficult process, and it is interesting because you either land on a situation where you've done something really good, or you've just messed around and wasted a lot of time.
I believe you're onto something, and I'm going to tell you now that keep going because you've just got to take the noise that's around it and refocus on what you want to do. Because I know there's so many things that you want to do, and this is another thing that we can talk about off air and off the live. That's why I'd love to speak to you in person and see where your head's at. And it's probably going to be one of these 4-hour conversations where we just blow up in many different directions, right? And I can see where your mind how your mind ticks. And let's just meet up and have that.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's have a chat. Let's have a proper chat. We can vlog it to anyone who's interested. Anyone watching, we can vlog it. We'll vlog it. You can come along. We should invite anyone who wants to come along to that chat. Come along.
All right,
let's go.
So Sam, Sam, if there are any charities out there looking at how they can use cryptocurrency donations, where can they find you guys?
Yeah, so literally just go to GiveTree.io. You will be taken to our Discord because that is the only button on our website. So there's no way of messing that
up. Beautiful. We don't mind that.
We'll get you into our Discord as well. So we're just starting to flesh that out and get things happening in that respect. So it seems like a lot of people are moving towards Discord at the moment because it makes it an easier way to communicate and keep a community talking and creating engaging conversations.
Yeah, I think it's the tricky part. The tricky part with Web3 right now is that this is the really difficult part for charities. This is the really difficult part. Charities are really like risk averse. And at the moment, no matter what Web3 strategy they're deploying, they are going to have like a really shit return on investment. Like their return on investment is going to be terrible. Like they are going to invest a whole bunch of money, like a whole bunch of time and resources and people doing their thing, and they're going to make fuck all.
Well, they're meant to have a zero balance sheet at the end of every year. Otherwise, they end up paying a lot of tax.
Right, but I suppose the balance is that over the next 10 years, what's going to happen with the money technology? So the money technology is changing. And as you know, we've got the Reserve Bank of Australia is currently testing CBDCs right now.
Didn't they? CBDC right didn't now. That come through? Isn't there legislation on the 27th of October recently? Of that coming through?
They're doing a trial. It's just coming to.
It's a trial.
Yeah.
It's like the submission date is over. You literally can't submit anymore. And I've spoken to most of the people who were in the room with the RBA 2 weeks ago, and they've all done their submissions. So the RBA has a plan for what they're going to test for the CBDCs. CBDCs means centralized what is it? CBDC.
Central bank digital currency.
Central bank digital currencies. They're going to test these central bank digital currencies. They're going to test them based on the submissions they receive from those people in the room. Then they're going to burn the tokens. They're going to burn the tokens, which means it's a pointless exercise. They're going to burn the tokens. Okay, that's a side point. But anyway, so they're going to burn the tokens after the training exercise is done, and then they're going to release the full-on thing, the real thing. That's a centralized bank digital currency. Like paper money, plastic money is being replaced right now. It's being replaced right now. And that's what's happening. Now they're going to do it. And what they're grappling with right now is the problem of decentralization. So they are trying to, traditionally, money technology has been held by a very small group of people. And right now what they're trying to do is like get that money technology back under control. And it's very difficult for them to do that because it's, you know, the money technology is the internet, which is traditionally decentralized. That's how it works. So it's tough times. But they're doing their best. And I forgot what the original point was.
Oh, it was just finding GiveTree. If there's any charities out there that want to raise funds in cryptocurrency. Well, let's have another conversation.
Let's have another conversation. Yeah, that's
we
great.
can open this right up. So thanks, Sam.
Thanks, Sam.
Just hang in there. We're just going to end the live and we'll wrap it up.
Thanks
for anyone that tuned in. Thanks.
So good.
Thanks, guys. Cheers.